Hello! In my portion of this video, I will be sharing facts as well as tips on how to properly use the Greek numeration system. Let's get started. First things first, it's good to know that the ancient Greek numeration system is a ciphered numeral system. This simply means that specific labels aren't just given to the number 1 and the powers of base b, but also the multiples of these powers. The Greek numeration system also uses Ionic numerals. This is a fancy way of saying that ancient Greeks used their alphabet for their numeral system. One Greek letter means a specific number and so on, as we've seen in the first section of this video. The Greek numeral system uses a base of 10. That's what we use in the US. This would be easier for us to learn instead of, for example, using a base of 60. A fun fact about base 10 numeration systems is that they're not just used in the US, they're used all over the world. They used to be used in ancient civilizations, most likely because humans have 10 fingers and 10 toes. 27 numerals were needed in the Greeks' numeral system, but they only had 24 letters in their alphabet, so they borrowed 3 symbols from the Phoenician alphabet. The Phoenician alphabet is an alphabet that stemmed from ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and was a parent system to the Aramaic and Greek alphabet. This symbol is called an iota, which is also the 9th letter in the Greek alphabet, which was one of the letters derived from the Phoenician letter called yod. When this symbol is placed above as well as before a number, you must multiply that number by 1000. For example, place the Greek numbers 9, 750, and 5 together, and add an iota sign at the beginning. What you would do is multiply 9 times 1000. Then you would add 9,000 plus 700 plus 50 plus 5 to get the answer 9,755. And that concludes the things that you need to know when using the Greek numeration system. Now on to the next section.
The numerical system that the Greeks used was a lot more intricate and specific than the numerical system that we are used to using today. While there are a few similarities, there are also quite a few differences that are very stark in comparison to our system. Right off the bat, the most obvious of these differences would be the types of symbols that they use to depict their numbers. They're a lot more intricate and a lot more detailed than the Hindu-Arabic numerals that we are used to today. Their symbols were known as Ionic symbols, which means that they were alphabetical, as their symbols were all borrowed from the Greek alphabet. The first 24 were very specifically Greek alphabet symbols, while the last 3 were actually borrowed from the Phoenician alphabet. With 27 symbols in all, they used something called a ciphered system, which means that there were multiples of 1 and also multiples of the base which were given symbols. The Greeks used 9 symbols for each set of multiples, meaning 1 through 9 had some symbols, then 10 through 90, and then 100 to 900. There were also some other symbols that the Greeks used that weren't exactly numerical, but served different purposes within their society. For example, when placed above and before another number, the number iota could be used to depict a number being multiplied to 1000. In another case, when there was a small tick mark to the upper right of any number that was written down, that would mean that the number would be divided by half. The strangest thing about the Greek symbols, however, was that they did not seem to have an actual symbol for 0. Rather, different symbols were used entirely. With all of these differences, you'd think that there's no way that the Greek system could compare in any respect to the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. However, while there are few similarities, the similarities are still there, and they are prevalent indeed. Much like our system, the Greek numerical system was base 10. They also wrote their numbers from left to right, much like how we do today. Overall, while the Greek numerical system is a bit tricky to learn, it is very interesting indeed.
From the late 4th century onward, this Greek numeration system became the most preferred system through the Greek-speaking world. It was around 900 BC whenever the Phoenicians invented the alphabet, and it then contained about 600 symbols, and each symbol was filled with its own type of grace and beauty. Although the Phoenicians did invent the 600-letter alphabet, it was the Greeks who created their own different symbols or letters to represent the different types of vowel sounds. Like stated way earlier in the video, the Greek system is a base 10, which is exactly like the one that we use every single day, even in math classes just like this one. However, they also use this numeration system based on the 27 letters of their Greek alphabet. Today, in modern Greece, they are still used from ordinal numbers, and this is a lot like the way the Roman numerals are used out in the West. With all of those facts being said, you may find yourself asking yourself the question, how did the ancient Greeks do math with letters instead of numbers? To answer your question, let's just say that the Greeks are very, very smart and they're very talented, and the way they do math and study hard and work hard really shows whenever they're doing their math systems just like this one. They work hard and they study hard, and it really, really showed whenever I was digging deeper into learning about them and the way they do things such as math. To wrap things up, the whole point of us choosing and focusing on the Greek system was to show that they represented numbers through letters, which I think is very unique, and like I said, it represents great elegance and beauty, with some of the names being alpha, beta, delta, and kappa. Even those 4 names make this numeration system very unique and not like any other. Although I only gave you 4 examples, earlier Abby gave you almost the whole number system, but each one is very different, and the artwork that goes behind creating those letters and numbers are really incredible. I personally think that the design of each one is simply amazing, and I love learning about stuff that made our math the way it is today. Thank you for watching our video, and we hope you enjoyed and learned about the numeration system just as much as we did.